Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD and welcome to another StarCraft 2 commentary here, and today we're going to be looking at a very good game between SlayerS.MMA and Timber. No, this is actually MMA versus Leenock from MLG. Got these replays and I was like, wait, SlayerS.MMA versus Leenock? Yes please, I'll have some more of that. And not going to talk too much about Leenock or MMA's most recent achievements because that might end up spoiling the series for you guys who might not have tuned in or remembered. So I will say though that MMA, obviously a former champion of MLG, just a very popular player. A little interesting tidbit for you guys who may not know this, but MMA is actually, or used to be, an MMA fighter. So he wasn't like Chuck Liddell or anything. He like wasn't gonna like go in the octagon and just kick people's asses, but he could probably kick my ass. He's that good of a fighter, I would imagine, and that's why he's kind of got that little mohawk or faux hawk going on a little bit. So just a little bit of a take back to his name and as to his like background and where he comes from. But he is a professional now StarCraft 2 player, and he is damn good, an extremely active Terran, and known for his aggressive, as I call it, Marine Marauder abuse or Marine Marauder medevac abuse play. So that's why I kind of gave him the the initials for his name. But over here we do have Leenock, who is actually a Code S Zerg and is known for his aggression. And he actually he gained some popularity when he defeated Nada with a 6 pool. I think that was in the up and down matches for the GSL. It might have even been in the Code S round of 16. I'm not too sure, but I do know that he defeated Nada with a 6 pool. So that's pretty berserk to do something like that to a player of Nada's caliber. You just don't see 6 pools all that often in StarCraft 2. Not nearly as much as you see something like a 4 pool in Brood War. 4 pools in Brood War are actually pretty popular because the Zerglings were so much faster and more effective. Getting to this game at hand, we do have MMA opening up with a Makarax here. The drone will see the Makarax though, and so this quick hatchery, in fact, I believe was a 15 hatch. Yes, it was. So it could be under attack here, and on this map, Shakura's Plateau, 3 bunkers placed, one here, and one here, can totally wall off the ramp and be extremely difficult for Zerg to deal with. Right now, Leenock has got to get some Zerglings out and maybe draw a little bit on his aggressive mindset to deal with this. Hopefully he gets some Zerglings out soon. We have a drone combating an SCV right now. Can the drone get the SCV? No, it will not. The Marine coming in play right there, and if he could have gotten one of those SCVs, it would have helped a lot because there's only 3 here, and 3 SCVs are all you need. They're the bare minimum, actually, to get 3 bunkers up. Can he get the 3rd bunker? He does get the 3rd bunker up. Oh no, now Leenock's in a lot of trouble. He's gonna have to get a crawler up in the back here. There's no way for him to break this fortress contain now, and more Marines starting to kind of file in one behind the bunker, and now the Marines are inside the bunker. Why isn't Leenock building a spine crawler is beyond me. Oh, he's actually going for a beanling nest. Is he actually gonna bust his way out of this front contain and then try to bust MMA? This is insane. If he goes for the... I've never seen this kind of a response to the triple bunker contain before. It's very rare. Most Zergs are usually going to go for a crawler defense to break this down. But we'll see how this Baneling bust is going to work. It's going to be totally unexpected. MMA has no scout on the Baneling nest. And it is on the way right now, so Leenock, like I said before, going to draw on that aggressive play style. He might just let this hatchery go down. He might just let the hatchery go down before he busts out. Yes, he will, because he doesn't have the Banelings out yet. So the hatchery is down. MMA is going to be feeling pretty secure here until the Banelings come crashing through. Now, these bunkers aren't really going to last very long at all against Banelings. And here we go. The Marines are starting to unpack themselves out of the bunker, and the Banelings are coming. The Marines are going to fall inside the bunker. The Banelings going to detonate on the bunker, taking out one of the bunkers. The second bunker getting surrounded by Zerglings, and a Baneling detonates on those SCVs. Those SCVs are going to go down. Now, MMA is going to, if he loses these 5 SCVs or so, then he's going to give up a lot of that advantage he got by killing off the hatchery. Not so much to the point that he's going to lose this game or anything, but he will kind of give up a little bit. Unfortunately for Leenock, though, he doesn't have speed as a result of him rushing the Banelings. So it looks like these 3 SCVs now will actually make it back home just in time to get... Will they get behind the supply depot wall, though? Yes, they will. That last Marine sacrificing himself for the good of the Terran race, so he deserves to be commended. Although, of course, if you have Manx as your general, then He'll leave you behind like Sarah Kerrigan to die. So, well, we actually have a lull in the action now because Leenock is actually pulling back and trying to re-establish this hatchery. And this gives me a time to actually go ahead and give you guys the racial stats for these two players. Leenock with a 59% win rate against Terran. And you guys don't even want to know what MMA's win rate is against Zerg. It is an astonishing, an amazing, an astronomical 86%. Now, given this is from their Korean database, and for whatever reason, only 13 games recorded for MMA in Terran versus Zerg, but you guys know that that's his forte. That is his best matchup. That's why MMA became so popular, is his versus Zerg mechanics, his ability to drop all over the place. So 86%? I'm sorry, Leenock, you've got your work cut out for you. So, of course, already cut out for him because he doesn't even have a natural right now. He's behind in SCVs, and for whatever reason, he's thinking that MMA is going to expand here. I guess it doesn't hurt to go ahead and destroy these rocks. So in the scenario that MMA does expand here, at least you're doing something with your Zerglings right now, and you're opening up a pathway if he does. So, you know, Leenock just trying to do whatever he can to get in this game and just set himself up for the mid game. But there are quite a bit of barracks worth of production here. 4 Raxes, Stim Pack is not done. It's actually Combat Shields on the way right now. And we do have a push out from MMA here. Not quite time to hit with Combat Shields, but still a Marine Force nevertheless. And is Leenock prepared for this? I'm sure he's been joining up this entire time. Let's look at the drone count, 27 under 31, so he hasn't even caught up to MMA's SCV count yet, and he's got to make some banelings now. So MMA forcing some banelings out of this Marine push, and now it's very important for MMA not to lose these Marines. It's nice to poke and prod, but if you lose your poking and prodding force, then it's essentially just throwing away free gifts at your opponent. So he reconglomerates his army next to Zelnaga Tower, and this is a good location to hold for now for MMA. And it looks like Leenock going to try to hit the front door, but no. MMA's macro is all over that. He's got Marines at the front door. Look at MMA. He's so secure in this game right now, not even bothering to wall off the natural. The natural is totally open and exposed, but MMA feels safe and secure enough with his forces at the Zelnaga Tower. And that's not something that a lot of Terrans will feel too insured doing, but MMA, a Code S caliber player, can definitely do so. So, let's see what Leenock's cooking up right here. Uh-oh. He could just be going for a pretty delayed baneling bust here, guys. I mean, you can't blame him. First of all, Leenock is just balls out aggressive. He will just throw the kitchen sink at you. If he gets a chance, he'll throw the whole kitchen at you. So he is building up Zerglings up the wazoo right now, and he's got a baneling nest ready to go. This is going to be really, really crazy. Now, MMA might actually want to, you know, start to get some premiums paid on that insurance policy at the front door. Otherwise, those banelings are going to come crashing through. And oh, MMA gets surrounded! This was not expected from MMA. I think MMA was assuming Leenock would just be joining up, but little does he know, the Zerglings are coming out. The swarm has begun to flood out the front gates. And I hope MMA begins to bolster up this front wall. This is not looking like a very good wall against this many banelings. Why is MMA's wall so bad right now? Now this is looking really terrible for him. He's got to get some bunkers up. Does he realize the impending threat at his front door? I don't think he does. The banelings, oh my god, they're going to come rolling through here. In fact, they're not even rolling. They're just going to walk through, scurrying on their little legs. The 2 supply depots going down almost instantly. There is another wall. There is another layer up at the front door, but that will go down almost immediately as well. Leenock is inside the main, and the SCVs, oh my god, the SCV is hitting the floor. Look at the carnage left behind by the SCVs, going down. 23 workers have gone down this game, and MMA is in trouble. He is in more than trouble. He is gonna lose this game if he doesn't set up the front wall right now. He does have a siege tank. He does have siege mode, but the tank gets surrounded almost immediately. MMA is losing this game to Leenock's aggression. Leenock is inside the main with Zerglings and another tank in the background. Thankfully, maybe that tank can hold on. No, it will not. The Zerglings taking out that siege tank as well. Wow, MMA is in all sorts of troubles, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it looks like he has been able to, oh no, there's still more Zerglings inside the main, killing off more SCVs. In fact, he's only at 10 SCVs right now. That's a pretty small SCV count, so Leenock is going buck wild right now, and Leenock's expanding down to the bottom right as well, so Leenock getting a third base. The man with the plan right now, not going all-out aggression to basically go for the all-in. He's actually droning up right now, 42 over 11. He's at 3 bases. I think he is going to let off the gas pedal now because MMA has a bunker and a siege tank. But just like that, wow, the tables have switched around pretty quickly in this game. First, MMA was light years ahead of his opponent, and then all of a sudden now Leenock able to bring it back. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little caught up right now just in the excitement of this game, but I really feel like Leenock played that out so beautifully. And look at how many SCVs he killed. He killed 40 SCVs. He's ahead by 43 over 15 right now. That is an insane number. Marine just going down right there to that pack of Zerglings. Now MMA has got to rely on his Marine medevac abuse right now, and he's starting to move out with that dreaded pack of 8 Marines inside a medevac. On HDreplays Plateau, Marines inside medevacs are so effective because the third and the natural are right next to each other by air. And so if that medevac can get up in here and do some damage, that could be pretty devastating to Leenock. I hope Leenock's prepared for this. And MMA obviously putting a lot of his eggs into this basket. He's got to at least walk out of here with the hatchery kill to get back in this game. Will he be able to do it? He stims all of his Marines down the ramp. The Marines are at 0-0 upgrades. They are starting to work down that hatchery. The hatchery in the orange hatchery falling down, but no, it doesn't look like MMA is going to have enough firepower to break this down, and he's got to save the rest of his Marines and evacuate and abandon ship. But meanwhile, dropping off more Marines over at the main. This is what MMA is known for. MMA dropping the main, and he's also got a sea shank on the low ground as well. That sea shank is going to provide so much artillery firepower. And at the same time, look at this. While Leenock is distracted, MMA goes back in with his remaining Marines, going to take off the queen, and of course that hatchery will most likely go down now. MMA somehow, someway working his way back in this game. Looks like though the Zerglings able to bust through because remember guys, Leenock did destroy the rocks earlier, and that is so smart, but Leenock losing the hatchery down in the bottom right hand corner, so now Leenock is only on 2 bases, and just like that, these two Codas players, MMA has pulled it back into this game. If not, he's actually ahead in supply. Unbelievably, he's now tied up, of course, 69, now under 69 by 77, but he has gotten himself back into this game, I must say. Yes, he's still down in SCVs. Yes, he's down, or he's tied up in supply right now, but, I mean, a moral victory is still a victory nevertheless. And MMA has gotten that hatchery down in the bottom right-hand corner. He's looking really strong. He's still got medevacs up in the skies. Do we have mutas on the way for Leenock? Let's take a look. Yes, there's a Spire in the background. He's making mutas a little bit right now. There's a couple. So the mutas will shut down the medevac harass. This is what Zerg needs to get to kill off medevacs and start to take control of the skies. Oh, that's cute, Leenock. A couple of bro banelings right in front of MMA's eyes. And depending on whether or not MMA was paying attention, he might not even realize that there's banelings waiting here. Now the mutas are chasing down that medevac. They get the medevac kill. And so these two banelings are underground right now. I wonder if MMA noticed that or not. If he did it, that could be one of the biggest baneling busts of all time. Because all the forces are funneled down the ramp, they're pretty much going to walk over these two banelings, guaranteed. So we'll see if MMA was paying attention to that or not. It's going to be a pretty big explosion nevertheless. And let's take a look at MMA's main right now. Uh-oh. He is beginning to push out with quite a few Marines. Is he just establishing the natural a little bit more? I think so. And I don't really think MMA can push out right now because of the mutas in the skies. He's got to play defensively off of 2 bases. He's got to hold down the fort. And really get that missile turret coverage up. In fact, does he even have missile turrets right now? No! Just one in the background at the natural, it looks like. So he hasn't really been able to afford into any turret production. Can't afford it because he's got to get his infrastructure online. He's got to focus on more critical things right now because he was behind at least by a bunch of harvesters, now having caught up to 43 under 65. But unbelievably, after some balls-out aggression in this game, it looks like things have settled down a little bit because Leenock is now grabbing the 4th. It looks like a typical standard Zerg versus Terran now. Of course, Terran versus Zerg on this map can definitely be good for Zerg in the beginning-ish, depending on whether or not MMA does that little bunker rush he's so good at. But at the late game, I think Terrans definitely have an advantage being able to cut the map in half and use those little choke points in the middle of HDreplays Plateau. Couple of mutas here flying in. Leenock with +1 weapons on his mutas, actually that is pretty effective, but we do have a little bit more of a effective harass mechanic here in the Marine medevac abusers, and MMA looking to drop off in the bottom right hand corner. Is he going to do the little Marine medevac abuse he's so good for? Oh my god, the banelings are raiding! I noticed that in the little mini-map, but only a few Marines, so I don't think Leenock going to waste his 2 banelings on that. He's going to wait for a bigger surprise, and I like this. MMA going and around all the way to the bottom right, and the drones are just now beginning to saturate this location, so a lot of drones could go down. No, Leenock paying attention, pulls his drones out of there, but he was probably going to lose his hatchery. No! Leenock has got so many Zerglings. Man, +1/+1 Zerglings all being pulled from the middle of the map to deal with that. And here we go. The Marines are beginning to roll out. Oh, they're going to take the northern position, though. Oh, my God. Is Leenock paying attention? I think Leenock notices these Banelings even more than anybody else does. But MMA not pulling his Marines all the way onto those Banelings. And, oh, he drops a scan. Holy crap. That scan catching it on the edge of the vision. I cannot believe MMA dropped that scan. That was just such a crucial scan. And, I mean, if he hadn't scanned there, he could have lost, I don't know, 8 or 9 Marines, maybe more. It would have been like a Lucky versus Boxer from the IPL 3. Could have been pretty devastating, but it looks like MMA just, you know, has the wherewithal, has the, he's a cerebral player, thinking man's player, and he realized that there could be Banelings there. Now it looks like Leenock gonna fly in with his mutas, magic boxing that Thor, picks it off. It's important for Zerg right here in this matchup to really pick off the tanks, the Thors, all the Terran mech that cost so much money, and Leenock just did that pretty brilliantly. But wow, what a game we have on our hands right now. 174 supply for Leenock. He has really pulled ahead in supply in this game. Now grabbing both the pocket expansions at the same time, so Leenock just getting a little crazy right now as he's got Infestation Pit +2 weapons on the way. He's going to go into Hive Tech pretty soon here, and it looks like, oh wow, he's going to move to the bottom left. He's got quite a few mutas and lings, and all these tanks are not in the best of positions to deal with the mutas and lings if they come from the south, but it looks like Leenock is not going to press the advantage. He's not going to try to force things down MMA's throat quite yet. He might wait to max out, actually just max out. He might just wait for +2/+2 to finish. 2 for air and 2 for ground. Pretty insane right there. And the creep thread so far from Leenock has been brilliant. Look at the creep about to encroach onto the Terran pocket expansion. Could not be good for MMA. And MMA really needs to get some more Marine medevac drops going on because there are drop lanes open into the north. He could certainly do some damage, and of course the Hive is beginning to construct inside the main. A couple of Banelings getting a little bit gun happy there, rolling into those tanks. It looks like they were able to pick off a few Marines. Nothing too critical though. And there are those Mutalisks once again. Look at that Mutaflock from Leenock. My God, he's got so many mutas. He just destroyed some of the Terran infrastructure and flew out of there. And MMA is just all out right now in defensive mode. He's just trying to hold down the fort right now against this insane Zerg player from Korea. Obviously, both these guys are Korean, but Leenock is just trying, MMA is just trying to hold down the fort right now, and it looks like, wow, Leenock just taking advantage of the movement of troops, realizing, hey, Marine's gonna go down to the bottom left. That means my mutas are free to attack, and he goes right into the planetary fortress, picks off a couple of tanks, unable to do any more damage than that. I think he could have been a little more aggressive. He could have picked off a couple of SCVs, but he decides to fall back. Wow, MMA right now has got to get things together. He's got to get a large enough Marine ball with tanks, with Thors, to deal with this constant aggression from Zerglings, from Banelings, and from Mutalisks. There are no turrets here once again. MMA really lacking on the turrets, almost losing that planetary fortress, but gets the master pair off in time. And here we go. We do have a medevac moving over to the top right, as well as a medevac moving to the top left. There's a burrowed Zergling there. The burrowed Zergling will probably see that medevac, but there are no spotting units over to the north. Meanwhile, a little bit of aggression going into the middle of the map as a couple of Marines are going onto the creep. He needs to drop a comsat right now. I'm not sure why he hasn't comsated quite yet. A couple of Zerglings also flanking the tanks in the middle of the map. That is not good. MMA losing his crucial tank counts right now, and he's only at 2 tanks right now. He just doesn't have any tanks in this game, and that cannot be good for MMA. His drop from the top gets shut down by that Mutaflock almost instantly. Nothing going down right there. And meanwhile, Gritter Spire and Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Meanwhile, another medevac coming down for MMA down to the bottom right, but this medevac can't do any damage. There's already 3 crawlers here, and you bet your ass that those Zerglings and mutas are going to fly down here in the next couple of seconds and shut this one down as well. So, wow. Leenock is almost like a cat toying with his food right now. He's getting crack upgrade. There we go. I say this all the time when I cast. When Zerg players go to Hive and they don't get the crack upgrade on, I just freak out. I'm like, why wouldn't you get that upgrade? But Leenock is getting that upgrade, and when his Zerglings have, oh, I don't know, max upgrades with crack, they're just going to rip through everything, including buildings. And the command center in the middle will go down. There is a medevac potential drop to go off inside the main. It could pick off some key structures, but MMA right now definitely taxed in the middle because it looks like Leenock is threatening, and he's moving in about the same time his +3 weapons and adrenal glands are about to finish, so this is a nice timing attack if he can get those in. Meanwhile, the drop going off, not going to be able to do too much damage, I don't think. The Banelings here unable to roll through, actually. Not quite quite sure why Leenock is pulling back right now, and yeah, the drop is actually doing more damage than I thought it would. Not enough forces here, and finally, there we go. Leenock's reinforcements arriving in time, able to shut down that drop before the spawning pool goes down. And you know, MMA is known for dropping key Zerg structures like spawning pools, like Baneling Nest. Oh my god, he might actually get the spawning pool! No, he will not. Not focus firing that pool down, and so the pool will survive, but it looks like MMA, throughout that aggression, has somehow, someway found a window of opportunity to maneuver his forces into this little choke point, which Terrans and Protosses really love to move through when dealing with Zerg, just allowing their units to be confined and constrained to close quarters. But MMA might be wise to drop a scan here to pick off the tumors. He was able to pick off the hatchery at the pocket expansion. Unbelievable play by MMA, but of course, Leenock is not defending right now because he is buying time for the oh-so-mighty Brood Lords to hit the field, and it doesn't look like MMA's got proper anti-air in place. He doesn't even have a starport ready to build Vikings, it looks like. Yeah, he does have a starport, of course. It's making medevacs, though, so that's not good. And when the Brood Lords hit the field, I don't know what MMA is going to do in this game. Baneling's detonating amongst the Marines. The hatchery at the pocket will go down. MMA had 2-3 weapons on his Marines. His Marines are fairly upgraded. But here comes the Brood Lords, and there are no ghosts, no Vikings, no units here that can deal with Brood Lords, and I think MMA is going to have to fall back. The one solace he can take from this attack is he was able to kill off the 2 pocket expansions, but the Mutas, like the vultures they are, going to go in to try to pick off the remaining Marines here. But I think there's too many Marines and too many doors for MMA, so MMA actually gets out of there without losing too much, and of course he picks off 2 key hatcheries in the middle of the map, and now he has an opportunity to get Vikings, to get ghosts out on the field, but he's got to get them out quick, and I'm not too sure why Leenock is waiting right now. I think Leenock certainly wants to press right now before the right anti-air gets out to deal with Brood Lords, and I'm not too sure what he's waiting for right now. Brood Lords are just waiting, exposed in the middle of the field. This could be bad for Leenock. The Marines and Thor are starting to take a couple of shots off. Thors aren't that effective against Brood Lords, but nevertheless, a couple more Banelings waiting in the middle of the map right here. And here goes Leenock. Oh my god, the fungal! Oh, the humanity! It looks like Leenock is just going to roll right through, and MMA calls a GG, getting completely outplayed by this bonkers crazy Zerg. But what an incredible game right there from Leenock. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. This was actually a best of 3 from MLG, so I will be moving on to game 2 right after this. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and without further ado, check out game 2. This is HD, signing out.